Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on which part of the world you are. I am here in Sydney, Australia. Welcome to the channel and I hope you guys are doing great. What should you do after a car accident? This is what we're going to discuss today. But before I get into the details, I have to give you a disclaimer. I am not a legal professional, so no liabilities can be claimed out of this conversation. You will not be provided with any indemnity for any losses that might occur for using this information. And this video is for information only. It does not take account of your personal situation, and should you need legal help, you should talk to a legal professional. And in this video, I will assume that during the incident, you were not at fault, your vehicle is damaged, and your damaged vehicle is not covered under your own policy. This would be the scenario we are going to discuss today. Now, right after the incident, what information should you collect? You should get the name, email address, phone number, insurance details, and of course, license details of the at-fault party. And then, if it is safe to do so, you should take pictures and videos of the damages to your vehicle, as well as damages to any other vehicle or any other property that might be involved into this incident. And now it is time to gather information about the witnesses. If, for instance, there is a bystander who witnessed this incident, then you should take name, email address, phone number of that witness. And finally, you should also obtain a police report. Once again, after the incident, if it is safe to do so, you should call the police. And once the police arrive at the scene, they will gather all this information and they will make a report, which is called a police report. Now, with all this information combined, name, email address, phone number, insurance details, license details of the at-fault party, pictures and videos of the damages, witness details, and police report. All of this information is going to make up for the primary evidence for this incident, which will then be used for the next stage of the proceeding. So what is the next stage of the proceeding? Is to send out a letter of demand. Now, if your vehicle is repairable, you should obtain a quote from a mechanic. And this is what you send out during your letter of demand, claiming that amount. But in contrast, if your vehicle is a total loss, it cannot be repaired, what should you do then? This is a little bit tricky. You should obtain a salvage report. What is a salvage report? Now, because your vehicle is a total loss, you should get an estimate of the value of that damaged vehicle based on the current market situation, market appraisal. But the key to remember is this: if the other party is insured during this incident, you don't have to worry about this salvage report. Usually what happens is this: the insurance company takes over the proceedings and then they do the estimation of the market price of that car. So you don't have to worry about it, because when you are obtaining the salvage report, usually you will need a licensed practitioner whom you have to pay a fee. Okay, so if the other party is insured during the incident, you don't have to worry about it. But if the other party is not insured, then of course you have to pay a fee to obtain the salvage report, and then that fee along with that salvage report is what make up for the letter of demand, which is what you will send out to the at-fault party. Now, assuming that your vehicle is repairable and also that you have sent out the letter of demand, you might have to wait for about a week or two to see if the at-fault party responds. If the at-fault party responds, that's good news. You are in luck. However, if they don't respond, then you should send out a reminder. And at this point, you should also let them know that if they fail to respond to your lawful request, then you have the full right to take legal action against them to recover your losses. And all the fees, costs, charges, or any other expenses that you might incur to recover those losses will be passed on to them. And after sending out this reminder, you might have to wait for another 2 weeks to see if there is any update. If after 1 month the at-fault party doesn't initiate the conversation or doesn't come up with a payment plan, then you should consider taking an alternative approach. Now, there are basically 2 things that you can do. You can engage a debt recovery service, or you can take the legal route and file a lawsuit. If you decide to engage a debt recovery service, always choose the ones that offer no win, no fee policy. If they cannot recover your losses, there is no point giving them a fee. Normally, what happens is this: they take out a percentage of the amount that is being recovered. It can be 15%, it can be 20%, it depends. Whatever the amount may be, it is not a bad idea, considering the fact that you stand to lose the entire amount should you decide not to take this route, engaging a debt recovery service. But in contrary, if you decide to take the legal route, if you decide to file a lawsuit, you should be very, very careful. Why? Because there are upfront costs involved. Filing fees, there are court fees, there are lawyers' fees, and if this case ends up in hearing, you might have to consider paying for additional expenses. You have to pay to the lawyers to attend to the hearings. And in the worst case situation, even after paying for all of these things, you might lose the case. Who knows? And out of all these expenses, even if you win, you would only be able to recover a fraction of these costs, not the whole amount. And during the hearing, not only that the lawyers have to go to the court to attend on your behalf, you yourself might have to go to the court as well. So time and resources become very crucial in this decision. So it is always best to avoid legal route. If, let's say, the at-fault party offers you $4,000 out of a $5,000 dispute, or even $3,500, should you consider taking a legal route or even a debt recovery service? Honestly, I wouldn't. Why? Because if you engage a debt recovery service, they might as well take that $1,500 as well. And if you have to go to the court, then not only you will lose the upfront cost, but you might lose the entire case. So what's the point taking such a risk? So always weigh in your options very carefully if you decide to take any of these alternative approaches. If the at-fault party offers you some money, even if it is less than the ideal amount, the amount that you would have received in an ideal situation, slightly less than that ideal amount, my suggestion would be accept your losses, accept the money, and walk away. That would be my suggestion. Again, it is entirely up to you whether you want to accept your losses or you want to fight to the death. But if I were you, I would accept the losses, let it go, walk away. Now, let's talk about the total loss situations. If your vehicle is a total loss, if it is written off, it cannot be driven on the road, before opting out, for salvage report, what we have been discussing just a few minutes ago, you should let the at-fault party know that, look, mate, my vehicle is a total loss, so how much are you willing to offer? Again, if the offer amount is less than ideal, slightly less than ideal, you should accept it and walk away. That would be my suggestion. Now, before you send out your letter of demand asking for their offer, you might as well provide an estimate of your vehicle under the current market conditions. You can check how much a similar vehicle with same or approximate odometer reading, age, make, model, etc. is currently selling on the market. And then you might as well wait for their offer. If the offer that they are making is slightly less, I might as well accept it and walk away. But if the offer is unreasonable, let's say that your damage is worth $10,000 and they're only offering you $2,000, well, I will not accept it. Instead, I will then choose one of the alternative approaches. But the key to remember is this: whatever you decide, you should always consider your individual circumstances. You should weigh in your options very carefully and then be comfortable with the approach that you will be choosing. So this is basically an overview of the entire situation, but I have made a separate video discussing these topics and some others in greater details, providing additional information that you might find useful. I'll leave a link to that video in the descriptions. And if you decide to learn more, you can go ahead and watch that video. So I hope this helps. Thank you for listening, and I will catch up with you on the next one. Bye for now.